My in-laws made a group chat called Family Only and left me out of it. I found out when my husband left his phone unlocked. When I confronted him, he said, "It's just for planning things." I didn't argue. I just started making my own plans. The next time they had a get-together, I sent a group text with a photo from the beach and the caption, "Some families know how to include everyone." I grew up thinking family meant loyalty. You showed up for people. You made room for everyone, even the ones who were hard to love. That's how it was in my home in Bozeman, Montana. My mom always said, "We don't leave anyone out, not even when they deserve it." I guess that's why I held on so long. I met Brian at a summer event in Missoula. He was quiet, but when he spoke, people listened. He wasn't like the other guys. He had this calm confidence, like he knew who he was and didn't need to prove anything. He made me laugh without trying too hard. We dated for 2 years. He asked me to marry him at Glacier National Park under the clearest sky I've ever seen. I said yes without even blinking. Marrying him meant marrying into his family. I thought that would be a blessing. His mom, Marcy, had this polished way of speaking, always saying the right thing. She'd hug me just tight enough to feel like she cared, but never long enough to feel warm. His sister, Dana, was always polite. Smiled when expected. Never more than that. His dad didn't say much, but he'd offer me a beer or ask about work sometimes. I wasn't expecting to be their favorite. I just wanted to feel like I belonged. I tried. I really did. I made desserts for birthdays, helped clean up after family dinners, remembered everyone's anniversaries. I even handmade a scrapbook for Dana's baby shower. No one thanked me. They just kind of nodded and moved on. I kept thinking, maybe it's just how they are. Maybe they need more time. Then came that Wednesday night. Brian had just gotten home from work. He left his phone on the nightstand while he showered. I wasn't snooping, I don't do that. But when it buzzed 3 times in a row and I saw the words "family only" on the screen, something inside me froze. I stared at it. I tapped it. There it was. A group chat with everyone in his family. Everyone except me. Photos from a backyard barbecue I had no clue happened. Plans for an upcoming birthday dinner. Talk about Dana's kids and who was bringing what for game night. Not a single mention of me. Not one. I didn't even know they had game nights without me. Brian came out of the bathroom, drying off. I sat on the edge of the bed, holding his phone. "What's a family only?" I asked, staring at him. He paused. "Oh, it's just for family stuff. Planning things." I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just stared. "I'm your wife." "I know," he said quickly. "It's not like that." They just wanted to keep it simple. Less people, easier coordination. I handed him the phone. "Got it." He looked at me like he wasn't sure if I was upset. I wasn't giving him anything. I climbed into bed, faced the wall, and didn't say another word. That night, my brain wouldn't shut off. I kept thinking about all the things I'd done for that family. All the holidays I'd spent trying to fit in. All the ways I tried to help. And they made a chat to exclude me. That was the moment I stopped trying. I wasn't going to fight for space in their lives anymore. If they wanted their little club, fine. I'd make my own plans. The next weekend, they had another get-together. I knew because Brian mentioned it the day before, offhand, like it wasn't a big deal. "Family's doing something on Saturday," he said. "You don't have to come. It's just a casual thing." I smiled. "Thanks for letting me know." He didn't notice the sarcasm. Saturday morning, I packed a beach bag. I drove out to Flathead Lake with my best friend, Amanda. We laid on the sand, drank lemonade out of tumblers, and took selfies with the water behind us. Then I sent a text. Not to Brian. Not to his mom. To the family-only group chat. I had memorized the names on that thread. I built a new one and sent a photo of me and Amanda smiling on the beach, toes in the sand, sunglasses on. The caption? "Some families know how to include everyone." I waited. It didn't take long. Marcy texted Brian. Dana called. He stood in the kitchen staring at his phone while I stirred spaghetti on the stove. Finally, he looked at me. "What the hell was that?" he asked. I shrugged. "Just sharing some family plans." His jaw clenched. "You're being petty." I turned around slowly. "No, Brian. You made it clear what family means to you." "I'm just adjusting." He didn't say anything, just stared. That was the start. I didn't yell. I didn't throw dishes. I just started pulling away. After the beach photo, things got weird in the house. Brian didn't mention it again, but I could feel the shift. He started texting more, going outside to take calls. He'd say it was just his mom or Dana asking about the kids, even though we didn't have any. I knew he was trying to manage the blowback, but he wouldn't bring me into the conversation. Not really. So I gave him space. I cooked dinner, did laundry, smiled when I had to. But inside, I was gone. I was already building walls. The next week, Brian went to a quick lunch with his mom. He came back quiet, tapping his keys against the counter while I unloaded groceries. "She's hurt," he finally said. I didn't turn around. "Is that so?" "She said she didn't mean for you to feel left out. They just didn't think you'd want to be in the group." That hit hard. I turned, eyes narrowed. I planned Dana's baby shower. I showed up to their recitals. I sat in a church pew for 4 hours when your cousin got baptized at 30. But yeah, I must have seemed uninterested. Brian flinched. "They're not saying you're a bad person." "No," I said flatly, "just not family." He had no answer. A few days later, I got a DM from Brian's cousin Jenny. We'd barely spoken before, but now she messaged me directly. "Hey, just so you know, I thought it was shitty they left you out of the chat. You didn't hear it from me, but Marcy called you overly emotional and said you'd just complicate things." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I took a screenshot. I texted it to Brian. He didn't reply. Not that night. Not the next morning. When he came home from work, he went straight to the fridge, didn't even look at me. "She didn't mean it like that." I laughed out loud. "Do you even hear yourself anymore?" That night, I slept on the couch. A week later, I got an invitation from Amanda. Her family was doing a Labor Day trip to Big Fork, renting a cabin, having bonfires, barbecues, wine on the deck. "You're coming," she told me. No excuses. I didn't make one. I packed my bags and left Brian a note. "Gone for the weekend. Don't wait up. I'll be with a family that wants me there." I didn't text. Didn't check in. But I knew he was watching. Because the moment Amanda posted a photo of me laughing on the deck with her dad handing me a beer, Brian liked it. Then Marcy commented, "Glad you found a place that suits you." That was it. No smiley. No hearts. Just that. I screenshotted that too. Saved it in a folder I started on my phone called Real Faces. From there, the game changed. I stopped asking Brian about his plans. If he had a family dinner, I made sure I had dinner plans too, ones with photos. I got closer to Amanda's family. Her mom started inviting me to little events. Her brother fixed my car when it started making noise. Her aunt taught me how to make proper chicken and dumplings. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. Brian didn't handle it well. He got moody. Short. Snapped over little things. "You're doing this on purpose," he'd mutter. No, I'd say, "I'm just living." But deep down, I wanted him to squirm. I wanted him to feel what I felt, lying in bed that night staring at a chat made by people who never once saw me as part of their group. Then the big one hit. Amanda's brother invited me to a wedding as his date. And I said yes. Brian didn't find out right away. I was careful. But someone tagged me in a photo. It was a simple pic. Me in a blue dress, laughing under string lights. Amanda's brother standing next to me, not even touching me. Still, Brian exploded. He called me at 1:14 a.m. "You want to explain this?" "No," I said. "I really don't." The next morning, Brian wasn't home. His car wasn't in the driveway, and his phone was off. I didn't bother texting him. I poured myself some coffee, sat on the porch, and felt something strange, peace. But it didn't last. Later that afternoon, I got a knock on the door. It was Dana. I hadn't seen her in weeks. She stood on my porch like she didn't know whether to apologize or yell. "Can we talk?" she asked, holding a reusable coffee cup like it was a peace offering. I leaned against the doorframe. "Sure." She stepped inside like it was still her house. Sat at my kitchen table. Looked around, like she was judging how clean it was. "I'm not here to fight," she said. "But I need to say something." "Go ahead," I said flatly. "I don't know what's going on between you and Brian, but it's making Mom sick. She's worried. She says you're changing." I almost laughed. "I'm not changing. I just stopped pretending." Dana sighed. "Look, I'll admit the group chat was messed up. But Mom said it wasn't meant to hurt you." "It did," I said. "And none of you cared." She looked down. "I told her we should have added you." That one stung more than I expected. "I wasn't even worth fighting for?" "You didn't say anything at the time," I said. "None of you did." She looked up, frustrated. "Because it's hard to be around you sometimes. You're quiet. You hold back. You don't let people in." I stared at her, stunned. "So, because I'm not loud or clingy like you, I don't belong?" "That's not what I meant." "No," I said, voice hard. "I think it is." She stood up. "I'm trying to help." "No. You're trying to make yourself feel better." She left. I didn't hear from Brian that night either. But the next morning, I woke up to an email from Brian's lawyer. Subject: Separation agreement proposal. I stared at the screen. No fight. No conversation. Just a cold email. Attached was a document about dividing property, car titles, a note about the house. Clean, businesslike. No mention of what we'd shared. No apology. Just bullet points and clauses. That's when I knew. This wasn't just about a group chat. They never wanted me. Not one of them. And now, they wanted me gone. But I wasn't leaving quietly. I stared at that email for over an hour. He didn't call. Didn't text. He just passed me off to a lawyer like I was something to be checked off a to-do list. That night, I poured a glass of wine and opened my laptop. I didn't cry. I didn't even shake. I just opened every folder, every message, every screenshot I'd saved over the past few months. The Real Faces folder was full now. Texts from Marcy, screenshots from Dana's social posts, Brian's cousin gossiping about his friend, from work, a woman I had already suspected but never brought up. I had enough. Brian wanted to play this like a business deal? Fine. I started by forwarding those screenshots, every last one of them, to myself, Amanda, and a private folder I titled Insurance. Then I replied to his lawyer. "I'll sign, but I want the house. And the Subaru. And half the savings. If not, I'll be showing some things to your client's boss, his extended family, and every mutual friend we've got." I never heard directly from Brian again. But the next day, a different lawyer emailed me, a nicer one. They agreed to everything. I signed, and within a month, Brian moved out. He didn't even fight for the couch. Marcy didn't reach out. Dana unfriended me on everything. Fine by me. I kept quiet for a while. But then Amanda's mom invited me to her birthday dinner. A big, outdoor family thing, full of love and noise and warmth. And that's where I posted my final move. A group photo. Me, Amanda, her parents, her cousins, her brother. Still just a friend. People ask. But no. We were smiling, wine in hand, plates full of food. My caption? Real family isn't blood. It's who shows up and stays. I didn't tag anyone. Didn't need to. Within a week, Jenny, the cousin, texted me again. "Everyone saw your post. Marcy's pissed. Dana says it was tacky. Brian looks like hell." I stared at the message and replied, "Not my family. Not my problem." But here's the honest part. Even though I won, if you want to call it that, it still hurt. I spent years trying to be part of something that never wanted me. I gave my heart to a man who didn't have the spine to stand up for me. And I changed. I don't trust like I used to. I look for signs now, clues that people don't mean what they say. That's the price I paid. So yeah, I got the house. I got peace. I got revenge. But I also got scars. I just don't let them show.